Okay, hello, my name is Forged, and so in this video series, the plan is to make a video game that kind of looks like and feels like Osu Mania, but also Beat Mania as a whole. It's going to actually be a sort of mix between Osu Mania and Piano Tiles, like the mobile game. I'm just going to make it, in my own way. The idea is not to publish the game or anything. It's not going to be very polished. It's just a side project to improve my skills, to learn more about SDL2. Uh, Talking about SDL2, well, it's a cross-platform development library that basically allows us to code graphics and and also it gives us access to all these things, which is pretty cool. So basically it gives us enough stuff to make video games, and if we know OpenGL and or other stuff like that, then we can make actual video games, like really well polished video games. Okay, so we're going to do this using C++. Why not C? Well, because I prefer C++. That's all. I mean, depends on the use case, but here I think C++ is going to be a little bit better because I don't want to deal with like fprintf and whatever. I just want to, have some less. I want to have less trouble dealing with memory management and all that, so I'm just going to use C++. Okay, so let's begin enough talking. So I have my main.cpp file already set up here. So first I'm going to include sdl2/sdl.h, so my SDL header. Right, I'm just going to see if my library, I'm just going to figure out how to include my library into my project, and yeah. So let's do, for example, SDL init video system here. So this is like the template of how to begin uh, an SDL project. So let's see if this works. So I'm going to compile it. So this is main.cpp out. It's going to be, let's do like first, or more like test. And it doesn't work because init video system was not declared in this. Oh, right. It's not. It's just init SDL init video. Right. I think that's how it works. It's not going to work because we have an undefined reference to SDL init. And to fix this, we have to go into the installation page in the wiki, scroll down a little, and here we have, it's written that once the library is installed, we just have to add this bit of text to our compile command. So I'm just going to paste it, and I'm going to simply run it. And now it compiles and runs. So everything is good. We can get it going. Okay, so the plan in this first video is just to display. So, well, first of all, the window. I don't know what size it's going to be, but we are going to figure it out eventually. So it's going to be to create the window and create the tiles, the nodes that the player controls. So I think I'm going to do 4 nodes, or maybe 6. I don't know. Anyway, it's probably kind of easy to change, but I'm going to start with 4. I'm going to make them clickable using the keyboard. So I think I'm going to use the keys F, G, J, K, or like D, F, H, J. I don't know, but yeah, to control those nodes, those tiles. And yeah, I'm going to make them feel pretty good to use, and I think if I can do this in this first video, it's going to be pretty okay already. So let's not waste too much time, and let's truly begin. So we have our main file here. So let's make it somewhat safe. I mean, not safe, but like somewhat serious, somewhat I don't know how to say it, but yeah, like just somewhat decent. If SDL init returns a negative value, let me check in the API index. SDL init, yep, if it returns a negative value, basically it means that it failed. So in this case, I'm going to simply, well, first I need to include IOStream if I want to do this. But if it returns a negative value, I'm just going to say failure or fail, and I'm going to say SDL video system initialization failed \n. Let's not add a dot because it's a bit annoying, and return 1. Okay, so all good for now. Let's run it, see how it works. If it works, okay. I'm just going to change the name of the file. I'm going to call it game, actually. No. Oh wait, it kept it, okay. Game. Then I'm going to remove test. Right, so first thing is going to be to create our window. So to do so, we're going to use the create window function. So it's an SDL window. It's going to be a pointer because we're going to actually allocate memory here. So SDL window is going to be SDL create window. So here we have, let's see, I think it's the name first. So SDL create window. Indeed, we have the title, then X, Y, W, H, and flags. I think that in SDL3 we don't have the X and Y positions anymore in this function, but we do in SDL2. So the title is going to be Beat Mania, Beat Mania at home. Okay, and X and Y, let's just do 0, 0. And width, let's see, let's define it on top here. So our window width is going to be, let me see, let's not make it too big, like 800, and we're going to define window height like 600. Okay, so window width and window height, and then we need a flag, which I think we can just put as 0. Yeah, 0 or 1 of the SDL window flags. Yeah. Damn, this song is a bit freaky. Okay, so we have this here, and if window, or actually if null, so if it fails, we are going to just display a message here. We're going to say fail, SDL window creation failed \n, and return 1. Okay. Now, since we are going to work on the surface of the window, let's create a window surface as well. So this is going to be surface, and the function is get window surface window here, and same thing if it's not defined. I mean, if it's null, then we're going to display an error message, then return 1. So fail SDL surface fetch Failed. Let's put it this way. See, it sounds good, looks good to me. And just to make things somewhat safe, let's here do SDL destroy window and SDL quit at the end, just to free all the memory to make sure everything is good and well. Now let's make our game loop. So our game loop is just basically a while loop, so we could do a while true, but it's not what I like to do typically. I prefer defining a boolean that I'm going to call is running is equal to true, and while is running, then then we're going to do stuff here. Yep. I think, yeah, it's not as I think. I'm pretty sure we need to use events here. SDL event, and basically general event structure. And in our while loop, in our game loop, we have to check for the events that are that need to be handled in the game. And so each time we iterate through this loop, we're gonna actually go through another while loop. Well, first I need to here. You are going to understand very soon, but basically I'm going to here I'm going to declare here I'm going to declare an SDL event, and then I'm going to call a SDL function called pull event, and like each time this is called, so which is each time we go through an iteration of this while loop, it's going to form a queue data structure with basically the list of all the events that need to be handled. So wait a minute, my screen went. Okay, so I'm back. I honestly have no idea what happened, but for some reason it's like my displays just reset for some reason. So I just had to like manually go into the display settings and just configure everything back. But okay, we are back, I suppose. Okay, so I was saying, so this is going to create a queue data structure, which I think I can go into Pinta and show you, like for those who may not know, and it's also good for me. But a queue data structure, you can basically view it, I think, as an array. And basically, here there's going to be event 1, event 2, event 3, event 4. A list of events that need to be handled, basically. And first we're going to handle this one, and once this one is handled, it's going to just get out, and then all the events are going to like move forward in the array, and it's going to get smaller, therefore the array, and we are then going to treat the second event here that comes here. And so this is going to happen until all the events are treated. So I think that's how it works. Let's just make sure I'm not straight up lying here. Pull event. Pull for currently pending events from the queue. So it is a queue. Returns 1 if there's a pending event. Right, so it puts the value, I mean, yeah, like the value of the event into here, into our event, and while this returns 1, then we're going to keep treating them. So if event.type is equal to SDL, well, let me check something. Okay, so I have this SDL quit, then we're simply going to do is running is equal to false. Right, that seems reasonable. And now we have a programs that should run without crashing. So let's check this out. Game. Yep. Okay. Where does it? Oh, let me see. Expected initialize before event. Event was not declared in this scope. So what is the issue here? Oh, what is this doing here? For some reason I have that. Let's run again. Right, now I have a Windows that appeared on my second screen. So it's a little bit small, so let's make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, let's just make it, I don't know, like... I don't want to make it too big, so like... 700 maybe, but this is a very awkward dimension, right? You know what? I don't care. Let's just make it 1280 by 720. And this is too wide, so let's just make it a square, shall we? You know what? Since we have only 4 keys, 4 notes, I think this is alright. You know, yeah, I think this is alright. Let's do it this way. Or actually, let's just do it 800 by 800. Okay, I swear I'm done after. I'm gonna go actually code the game afterwards. So this looks pretty good. Okay, so we have the game going on here, and now we are going to draw a key, like a tile, something that the player can control. But I think for this, so let me go back on Pinta. So this is going to be a tile that the player can control, and so originally, like at first, it's going to be like this, just a rectangle but not filled. It's going to be hollow inside, and then when the player presses on the key, it's going to be filled with the color, and then when the player releases the key, stops pressing on the key, it's going to become hollow again, and so it's going to make it seem like I think it's going to make it pretty satisfying to click and play and whatever. And so that is the plan. But to do so, I'm gonna have to draw a rectangle. Maybe I can do like a sort of strategy and draw 2 rectangles, like a black one that is full inside and a white one above it, and each time the player presses on like his key, the white rectangle disappears. I don't know, I'm gonna see. Maybe I can just manage all the pixels myself. Let's see, because I don't know how to use the renderer in SDL2, but you know what? Maybe it's time to learn it actually. It's gonna make this video a little bit longer, but maybe if I can use renderer. Let's see. A structure representing rendering state. Well, thank you for giving me so much information. Okay, highlight all. So draw line, draw lines. Render draw rectangle. Right, so if I want to draw a line, so basically I'm going to first draw a rectangle using lines, and then when the player presses on the key, it's going to fill it by like drawing a proper rectangle. and then filling it. So render fill a rectangle to the current rendering target with the drawing color. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Or is it? Let me think about it for a minute. Do I want to learn how to use the renderer? Is it really much better? So I think it's create renderer. Index. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, let's do it. So we're going to do it right below the window here, and I'm going to call it renderer, and I'm going to call it yeah, so renderer, and so it's going to be SDL create renderer, right? So it's going to take the window, the index, and flags. So let's see what the renderer flags are about. So accelerated uses hardware acceleration. Well, that sounds pretty good. So SDL renderer accelerated, and so if renderer is null, then we're going to just count the typical error message. So, oops. Oh my god. Okay, and return 1. Okay, so we got our renderer here. Does it compile? It does. It doesn't change anything, but it works. Okay. Now I think I'm gonna have to do SDL destroy renderer, right? I think I'm gonna have to do that. Right. So let's see, let's just remove this last part, just see if it compiles. It compiles good. Okay. So now that we have this, we have our renderer. Oops, I don't want to do this in this file, I want to do it here. So what do we have about the renderer? SDL renderer structure representing the renderer state. Okay, but so I think it was above we had a lot of stuff about the renderer. Wait, where is it? Render. I think that had way more matches. Yep, okay. Okay, so let's see if I can draw a line. Am I able to draw a line? Let's do it here. So SDL render draw line, and so we gonna pass in our renderer, and then x1, let's do like 50, 50, and then 200, 150. Okay, just classic. And I think we're gonna have to do SDL update window. Let's see, is there anything special? Oh, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? SDL update window render window surface, and so window takes the window as a parameter, right? So let's see if this does anything interesting. So do we get a line? No, we do not. Okay. Render draw line. Okay, so let's see. SDL render draw line. So we have here render draw line. if you want to draw multiple connecting lines, use this, but it's not what I want just yet. Right, and so now that I have this, do I need to do anything? Let's see. And draw line. Probably going to find an answer here. Create render, render clear, set render draw color. Oh, I think I need to do this. I think so. I know why his program is wrong, but it's also because I forgot to do this. So SDL render draw, no, set render draw color render, and let's do it white. So let's check the documentation for this. SDL set render draw color, and so RGB alpha. Okay, so 0xFF, 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 0xFF. This is going to be totally white. So let's see if it renders our thing. Nope. Okay, so what could the issue be here? SDL render clear. What does it do? Clears the current rendering target with the drawing color. Let me see here. Maybe I should do it here. Oops. SDL. And then we're going to do just 0, 0. Boom, boom, boom. And here SDL render clear render. Does this do anything? Well, we still do not have our line, so let's see at the answer here. So how does it work? Set render draw color render clear. Render present. So that's why it didn't work. SDL render present renderer. And so this, I think, is fine if it stays here. Let's see if this works. Right, so we managed to draw our line. That is pretty good. So that's a good start. So it really is a simple line. So now let's see how I can use SDL render draw lines plural. And we're not going to use the floating version because we're just going to use integers. And so SDL point. So an array of SDL point structures representing points along the line. So I guess it has to be in an order. Okay. And so a point is just this. Okay. So a point is just XY. So for example, if I do like SDL, let's do, yeah, let's just do like SDL point, let's do like points. It's going to be null right now, but it's just going to be an array of 4 points. Or can I do this? Since this is C++, I should be able to do this, right? Like it's an array basically. So if I want to do like 50, 50, and then So our second point is going to be like on the left. So let's do like 150 and the same height. So 50. I mean on the right. I said on the left, but it was on the right. Then our third point is going to be 150. I don't know, like 120. And then here we're just going to come back and below the first point. So it's going to be 50 and 120. Does this work? This doesn't work because one element in initializer. Maybe, just maybe, I should do something like that. 4. So I think this works, what I just did. Since it's a rectangle, I'm just going to call it tile 1. Okay, I'm just going to call it tile 1. And then render draw lines. So count is a number of points. Okay, so it's going to be 4 and render. Okay, so let's do here this and then tile 1 and then 4. Does this work? Right, so this works. But I guess I need 5 points because it's not connecting here. So let's do one more. Or actually, wait, if I do 5, does it work? Wait, look, this is pretty interesting. I don't know why it does that, but that is pretty funny. Okay. I guess I shouldn't do that, and I should just add the first one here. And so now this should do what I wanted it to do, right? So we have now 4 lines. We now have 4 lines. Let's just change how it looks. But the fact that yeah, like the fact that we have to manually type all those coordinates is a bit annoying. So let's do. So every tile is going to have the same y coordinate. So let's do a define tile y, or like tile y, and let's say that it is 700, because right now it's 70, I think. So let's do it actually 740, and define tile. Let's do it right above. So tile x is going to be, let's say it's going to begin at the let me just try randomly here, this, and so we're going to define a few more things. Tile width, let's do it yeah, 100 seems pretty good, and but the height was a little bit too much, so tile height, let's do it like 40. Okay, now let's begin replacing those numbers. So this is going to be tile x for the first one, and tile y. Wait a minute. This is pretty dumb, if you want my opinion. But wait, oh no, it's not dumb at all actually. So it's going to be tile x plus tile width, and this is still going to be tile y. You know what? Let's just do it somewhat in a clever manner. Tile y, and so this is going to be tile x plus tile width, and this is going to be. Wait, am I? Yeah, That's what I thought. I was missing something here. Okay, tile x plus tile width, and the y coordinate is going to be tile y plus tile height. For here, so the one bottom left corner is going to be tile x, and here it's going to be tile y plus tile height. But I think I'm going to make a structure or a class representing tiles so that I won't have to repeat this process for every single one of them. And so for the last one, it's just going to be the same as the first one, right? Right. Let's see if this runs. So it does run. It looks pretty fine. Like, for example, if I like repeat the process here for a second time, and I just do like tile x plus I don't know, like tile width plus 10, and then I just do like I just add it here. So this is tile width. Let me see. Do I have to do it 2 times? And here like plus 10. And so here it's going to be this as well. Plus 10. And so tile x plus, no, it's going to be just that. And this is going to be the first one. Right. And maybe I should just put this here. It looks a bit better. Okay. Now let's see if this gives us 2 tiles. Oh, well, it gave me an issue. Right. And I need to rename it, and I also need to render it again. So tile 2. Let's try it out. Right, so it gives us what I wanted, and then I can do this for 2 more tiles and I'll have my tiles. But if I want to be able to interact with them, I think I better create a class. Oop, yeah, I was just stretching. Okay, so I better create a class so I can interact with them and not have to like always do all this stuff. So since we are using C++, let's make it a class. Yes. So it's going to be a tile, and it's private, public. Okay. So how do we define a tile? Well, first, obviously, it's going to be int x, int y. Yeah, let's define it this way. I think it's going to be better. Width and height. Yeah, let's also define it. Let's also define those. Okay. And let's do an enumeration and call it tile state. And so state, and basically it's going to take either pressed or released. I think I need to add this at the end. So the constructor of a tile is just going to take int x, int y, int width, int height, and I think that's all. And so x, y, width, and height. Right. So let's see if this compiles. Did I miss anything when I creating my class? No, I still have the same thing. Okay, good. So right. So let's see. So I have a state. So it's either pressed or released. Now I need to draw it. So I'm just going to like create a draw method on a renderer, right? Like I need to give it to renderer if I want to be able to draw it. So render draw. Let's call it render draw. And it's going to take so SDL renderer as a parameter, and a tile. We already know how many points it has, so no need to give it to pass it as an argument. Okay, seems good to me. Now, if we want to define, like if we want to actually like define this method, so I need to do tile render draw, and well, before I do anything else, does it run? Yep, doesn't change anything. So let's just see here. So we want to render it, but it's going to depend on its state, right? So if if state is equal to pressed, then it's going to be a rectangle, and if state is equal to released, then it's going to be a rectangle, but one of them is going to be empty. So this one is going to be empty, and this one is going to be filled. So for the one that is empty, I'm just going to cut this and delete this, and I'm going to call this points. 5 of them. This is indeed the first one, but I'm going to replace this by X and Y. X and Y. So X, X, and Y, 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 Y. And here it's going to be the width, and here it's going to be, oops, the height. Right, so I think that works. We're gonna see later on anyway. Let's just put them this way. Make some space just to make it a little bit more readable. Right, so we got our points here, and basically all we're going to do here is render draw lines. Right, seems good to me. Render draw lines, render points. We have 5 of them. The renderer is here. So this seems alright. To me, this makes sense. Does this compile? It does. So now our window is empty. No issues here. That's what we expected. Okay. Now let's see. We rendered it. No issues. So it's white. We're gonna keep it white. I'm gonna keep this here for now. And now if it's pressed, so let's take SDL rectangle and see how it works. SDL render draw rectangle. Just taking a rectangle as an argument basically. So SDL rect is going to be So this is going to take x, y with height. So x, y, w, h. Pretty straightforward, I think. And SDL render draw rect renderer, and we're going to send in the address of our rectangle. So I think this makes sense, right? I would like to think that it does make sense. Yeah, I don't know, let's just make it this way. Boom. Okay. Let's see, so this makes sense to me. Now, do I have to do anything else right now? I have render draw. Let's just try to draw it. So let's just try to like create here a tile tile 1, and so we're going to give it tile x, tile y, tile height, tile width, and tile, oh, it's almost 2 AM already, tile height, and let's do tile 1 dot oh, right, set state. You know what, let's just make it a public here. Let's just make it public for the sake of testing things. State is equal to like pressed. Let's do this for starters, and then here let's do tile 1 dot render draw renderer. Does it work or does it crash? Nice, but it's supposed to be pressed, so it's not supposed to look like this, right? Tile 1 dot state is pressed. So no, wait, no, did I just did I just waste some time doing it? Does draw rectangle just draw a rectangle, an empty rectangle? If it does, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Draw render draw rect. I'm so disappointed in myself. Well, I'm not going to restart the video or anything. I'm going to own up to my mistake. I didn't read enough documentation before doing this, and I learned this the hard way. But now my question is, how do I draw a filled rectangle in that case? Drawing filled rect. Oh, wait a minute. Render fill rect. SDL render fill rect. Render rect. I hate myself. I honestly hate myself. Okay, so this works, and let me guess, I can just do all of this. Goodbye. And then draw rect, and then here I can just do this instead, and here if I just do released. Okay, now it works. And if I do, let me try again. Let's do pressed. And now it works. Okay. Do I hate myself? Yes, of course. Did this just end? Yes. So let's just make it start again. Okay. Well, it's much simpler than I thought. Oh my god. Well, thank you SDL for not being completely illogical. It's me. I wasn't looking into. I mean, I wasn't asking myself the right questions, but at least now I know. I'm never going to forget that this works the way it does. Um, so you know what? This can be simplified. This can be even further simplified, honestly. Okay. SDL render fill rect renderer rect. Uh, uh, uh. Yeah, let's keep the names this way. It doesn't matter if it's not exactly um, like logical. Okay, so we have this. Cool. So let's draw our 4 tiles. So let's do this. And now tile 2, tile 3, tile 4. So tile X plus tile width plus 10. Tile Y, indeed. Tile width, tile height. Plus 2 times tile width plus 10. And plus 3 times tile width plus 10. Okay. So I need to change this as well. And I need to render them. Right. Okay. Well, well, well. I know what the issue is. I need to factorize. I need to put this inside the parentheses. Inside parentheses. Okay. Now this is going to look nice, isn't it? Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, but I'm gonna try to make it symmetrical. By that I mean like I'm gonna try to center those. And let's just do released, just to see what it looks like. I think it's gonna look pretty cool, but okay. Yeah, okay, that looks pretty cool. But let's center them. So it's just some basic arithmetic. So how is it gonna work? That is the question. So let's see. Actually, let's be fancy with it and let's draw this. So we have our window and we have our width divided by 2 and we have our 4 tiles. So this is our width divided by 2, and basically we want this position to be, I mean this distance. Oh, I cannot do this, can I? Oh, I can actually. We want this distance to be, so half of 10, so 5 plus width, 10 width. So basically the distance here is just width divided by 2 minus, so let's do t width plus 10 plus t width plus 5. Right, so fair enough. I'm just going to do this right here. Let's see. Tile width. And tile X is just going to be, so window width divided by 2 minus 2 times T width plus 10 plus 5. I'm just going to keep it simple. Now let's see what it looks like. Tile X. Wait, I need to read this. T width, was it not declared in the scope? Did you mean? Oh, tile width. My bad. Okay. Does this look centered to us? Screenshot. Show pointer. I don't know. Selection. How does this work? Take screenshot. Does this give us any information about? I mean, this looks pretty centered to me. But let's call it. Let's call this define tile gap, and let's call it 10. And so this is basically just going to be tile gap and tile gap over 2. And do I need to add it anywhere else? Plus tile gap. Think. And now it's going to be centered, right? And so let me just change something just to see, like for example, if I do like 150, does it work? Don't you love mathematics? Hey, mathematics are amazing. So let's do 120 actually, while we are at it. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And yeah, I mean, and let's do like, just to see, like 1600 for window width. Oh god, it's still centered, I love it. Yum yum. Okay, let's not become freaky here. It's not the point of this video, come on. Another time maybe. Okay. So we got this, we are happy, and in exactly 5 seconds, it's going to be 1 hour since I began. I don't know if 97 lines in 1 hour. That's not peak performance, but at least we are getting somewhere, right? I think it's not going to take a lot of time to handle the key presses, and then the video will be over. So let's see. So now we're going to handle event types. Okay, so if event dot type is equal to, let's see, SDL key down, key press, no, key. I guess I don't have a lot of choices. Keyboard event. Key down is equal to SDL key down. Okay. Now what we're going to do is let's I think, yeah, we're gonna use, we're gonna get, no, not state. Yeah, we want to be able to click on several keys at the same time, so I think we need to use something like get keyboard state, right? Oh, thank God I remember this. Okay, and so this is going to be very useful because basically it's just going to return a pointer to an array of key states, and then we're just going to have to use a condition if array at SDL, SDLK or SDL scan code, like the name of my key, so like G. So basically, if G is pressed, then we're gonna like create a method in our class that's going to handle it, but it's just going to like draw or like just like fill it. Okay. I mean, makes a state filled. Right, let's do it. So if, no, first we need to do, so let's do a uint 8. State is going to be equal to SDL get keyboard state. Num keys do we need? Anything here? I don't think so. Or I think let's just do null. Can I? Does this compile? Am I using this correctly? Const. So I guess I need to make this const. It's not I guess, it's that I just have to. Right, so this compiles, no problem here. And so if state of SDL scan code, let's see, SDL scan code, so that's what it looks like. Let's start with F is equal to, let's see, to 1, I think. I think it's 1 if it's pressed. Then let's just try something here. We're gonna print out F respects were paid. I hope this is a good. This is how should. Yeah, I think that's pretty clever and funny. I love myself, honestly. Okay, let's not be narcissistic here. Okay, so does this compile? It does. And when I press on F, oh yeah, respects are paid. That's pretty good. That's pretty satisfying. Now let's just do. So this is going to be tile1 dot. So we need to create our method here. So let's do void handle key press. Doesn't need to take any argument. I don't think so. And so this is going to be tile handle key press and handle key press, right? And if state is equal to pressed, let's see if it's pressed, we're just going to make the state will be equal to pressed, right? That's all there is to it. I'm not even sure if I need anything else. Let's see. SDL key down. Do I even need this, honestly? Do I honestly need this? I'm not sure. I feel like I can do without. Right. And maybe I can just do like this and like tile1 dot handle key press and then just pass this as a parameter. And I feel like I should be able to do this. And so this is going to be an integer, right? SDL scan code is just an integer, but what does this return? I mean, state is an array of uint 8. So I guess here we're gonna do uint 8 state, and so let's do it just s. Let's do if s is equal to 0, then we're gonna do state will be equal to released, and if s is equal to 1, then state will be equal to pressed. Makes sense to me. We're doing a uint 8 to s. I think it doesn't matter, does it? No, what I'm doing is the wrong thing here. I'm not looking at the right thing. It's not. This is the state array, but the values of the array is a key state, and a key state is an integer. I'm pretty sure it's just an integer, so I don't have to like bother with all this. I can just do int state, right? And does this run? This doesn't run at all. Handle key press. No matching call. Right, so I need to change it here. So this does run. Wait a minute, this already works? It's boring if it already works. Wait a minute. Does this just work too well? What did I press? Okay, I just think I just reloaded it. Okay, let's see if this works. So, oh yeah, love it. Well, this is going to be G, J, and K, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, does this work? Oh yeah, we're ready to play the game. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop the video here. So this works pretty damn well. I can press many at the same time. I can do this. Okay, so this works. Maybe we'll see later on, like end of the day, if I can like improve the way it looks or whatever. But it's pretty basic. But like, yeah, next step is just going to make some tiles, like some nodes, fall from above, or maybe let's like draw, you know, like the limits of the area, or like the line between each node or whatever. I don't know. Let's see. But we're gonna make the nodes fall here. And in the same video, I hope I'm gonna be able to like make the mechanic of like pressing the key at the right time, so that it like based on like the timing at which the key was pressed, it's going to give a certain score, like perfect, great, okay, and missed. Like let's do like an enumeration here and like do timing score, something like that, and like this is going to be like perfect, great, okay, and and miss. Okay, I mean just going to stop here, but I think yeah, I'm pretty happy with the state of this code. Took a lot of time, took over an hour, but honestly I learned how to use the renderer, so I didn't know how to use it before. I mean, I had never used it. It's not really complicated, it seems like, um, but I just had never used it. I only used like the surface, and so we actually don't need it here. I think the surface, do we? I don't think we need the surface if I compile it here. Yeah, we don't need the surface actually. But yeah, I mean, this works well, and so on this note, I'll see you all another time. I mean, you all, if anyone watches this, but I'll see myself another time, and yeah, goodbye.